Oh yeah, I remember making that album. I'd like to forget it, but years of therapy, I still remember it. When we made that album, when we made Glenn's album, my junks got loose. We had 8 months to throw it together. I vividly remember the record company fronted us $600,000, which was an insanely large sum at the time. And they said something to the effect of, don't screw it up again. So we had 8 months to throw this thing together. And Glenn was basically missing in action for the whole thing. I think he showed up 7 months and 30 days into it. I'm not sure if the month had 30 days or 31 days that month, but he showed up basically the last day. Well, showed up isn't really the word. Showed up is not the word to use because originally he didn't want to show up at all. He wanted to video conference in from Alaska, where I think he was trying to get a dog sledding school going or something to that effect. But anyway, eventually he was dragged into the studio. His parole officer dragged him in because he said he didn't want to deal with Glenn anymore. So he was there, he was in the studio, and yeah, there was about 10 minutes left to go. And he went in and basically just played a bunch of crap. I mean, none of it was salvageable, none of it was usable. And the record company executives were on their way over that day. So I was in a panic. Glenn was on the studio floor. I think he was playing with some puppets that he had purchased in New Zealand. And I just didn't know what to do. So the record company executives were on their way over. So what I did was I cobbled together some voicemails from Glenn from a couple of weeks earlier where he basically was shouting into the phone, screw you, I hate you, screw you. I took that and then I went into my archives and I pulled out a bunch of tracks I'd been working on and I just put Glenn's voice over it. So the record executives got there and these guys were all high on coke themselves. So they thought it was the greatest thing they'd ever heard, and the rest is history. You know the rest. So, anyway, so I'm really the mastermind behind Glenn's album, and Glenn, if you're listening to this, screw you, man. Just screw you. You still owe me for the carpet in the studio, and I'll never forgive you for what you did to my dog. So.